It's too bad that they had that Saudi Arabia show called The Greatest Royal Rumble a few years ago, because now they can't like reuse that now. You can't have The Greatest Royal Rumble 2,
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. The probably the greatest Royal Rumble, at least in the last, I don't know, 15 years or so, was 2 years ago. Yeah, let's talk about the Royal Rumble. Have you had a chance to watch the show?
I've only seen clips of it. So we were going to podcast on Sunday this week, and I was at PWG's Battle of Los Angeles. I had a great time, but when I read, our plan was I was going to come home. I was going to watch it the next morning before we podcasted, before I went to night 2 of PWG. And I just read the recap, and and also Matt's live texting me during the show, and I knew this episode would be a huge bummer if I had immediately recorded on Sunday. Not even watching it, just hearing what they did just was disappointing. Yeah. And I know we're trying to be positive here on this season of the show. So this is this we would have already been set up for failure if we did it on Sunday. So that's why we did a little bit later this week. So,
well, let's quick hit this thing. I mean, the easiest way is we'll hit these singles matches. Since you didn't watch them, Roman and Rollins kicked off the show. The match was great, as should be expected. Roman entered first. It took him what felt like 45 minutes to get to the ring. He got a full Undertaker level entrance. Seth Rollins did a full Shield entrance. Shield music. He had the full gear on. He came through the crowd. Somehow did all that in about 45 seconds compared to Roman's entrance. And then these guys, you knew the match was going to be good, and they were tearing the shit down. And then Roman refused to break the guillotine while Seth had the ropes. So you got a DQ win for Seth Rollins, leaving the belt on Roman. That was the first pay-per-view loss Roman Reigns has had in 2 years since the 2020 Royal Rumble. Yeah. And, I don't know. Something about it felt lazy. And now reports are coming out that internally they knew that the ending was not going to be popular at all. And they had Roman do a chair beatdown so that he personally got booed instead of the match ending. When you already know ahead of time that the match ending is going to get booed, book something else. It's okay. At this point, it is okay for Roman to get a clean win on Seth Rollins. We're all okay with that. If somebody's gonna do a DQ finish, do something. Don't just have him not break a hold. That doesn't work.
Yeah,
and it's so detrimental to both these guys. I mean, it's not going to hurt their star power at all, but I mean that Royal Rumble for me is the best show of the year every year. I mean, the surprises, they always put their best foot forward to get you excited for WrestleMania. Even if WrestleMania is lackluster like last year's was, they do things to get you excited for it. And if this is the marker of what we're heading for at the most stupendous 2 nights in pro wrestling, sports entertainment, I don't know. It's hard to get excited. And this was just the first match that they had to strategically plan around a boo. From here, we went into the Women's Royal Rumble, which we'll come back to in a few minutes. Becky Lynch defended her belt against Doudrop. Charlotte was just in the Rumble inexplicably rather than having a title defense.
I mean, I will say, I know it's one of your top women's championship, but it does get a little tiresome when they have tried to squeeze in all the titles as well as do the Rumble. Yeah. I do think it's necessary that you need to have some champions in the Rumble. but most of the time that's a mid-card champion, which the women don't really have. So.
I agree with you completely. At the same time, as short as everybody knew Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar was going to be, because I mean, even as good a shape as both those guys are in, we were probably capped at about 10 minutes, like that, and that was probably pushing it.
Well, and that's the best. I'm not a fan of Brock Lesnar, but that's been the best Brock Lesnar matches. It's been those ones that have been just like fast and good. Like that Goldberg match at Mania, which didn't need to be for the Universal Championship, but that's what happened. But it was a good, quick match. I think 5 minutes, yeah. I think is what they said it was. And it can't have been, I was about to say including entrances, but there's no way you can include Goldberg's entrances in being anything less than 5 minutes. That Toronto Survivor Series match might have been one where Goldberg snuck up that win, but yeah, no, the Lashley match, it was going to be the right. I mean, there's other problems with that match that we'll get to, but yeah, you're right. It would never been more than 10 minutes, like even in the best case scenario.
Becky and Doudrop also had a fantastic match. It got a clean finish, which in this instance felt odd. I don't know. It like of the three singles matches on this show, the only one that got a clean finish was the one with your top heel in it. Well, I mean, obviously Roman's your top heel, but top female heel got a clean finish over Doudrop. So, I mean, we wish her best in all of her future endeavors at this point. The match was good. I mean, it really was. They're two talented performers. Becky retained. And then we moved into Lesnar-Lashley. This is the match that I was the most excited about on this show, surprisingly enough. And in the 5 or 6 minutes that they did perform, they proved me right. Brock Lesnar is invested as hell right now. He's excited. It's fun to see. I didn't watch a lot during his heyday coming up, his initial runs and things. So I've always just seen Law Lesnar wins. He runs in, does 4 Germans and an F5, and then the match is over. Bobby Lashley was whooping his ass, and he was just taking it and cool with it. And then Roman interfered. That's how we set up Brock Lesnar and Roman. Roman interferes to take out Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman turns on Brock Lesnar and goes back to Roman. Bobby Lashley comes out of there with a belt, and Brock is just moving on to Roman. I
don't know what you're talking about. This sounds great. I love it. Everything about it. Why'd I skip watching this show? The match was so good. So good. And I think the most frustrating part of this is that Bobby Lashley was one of the linchpins that got them through the pandemic. He finally got a match he's waited 20 years to have, and this is the best you could give him. I mean, it's just like the Roman Seth match. It's okay for one of them to eat a clean loss. Nobody's going to get hurt by it. If Lashley loses clean, Lashley still looks like $1 million and he's a threat to anybody. If Lesnar loses, Lesnar has lost before. We're okay with it. We didn't need all that arbitrary extra stuff. Just let this match happen. It's it has been building and brewing, for 6 months for those of us watching right now, 20 years for Bobby Lashley. It was so frustrating. Everything on this show just felt lazy. They knew it was just going to be Lesnar and Roman, and they were like, let's figure out the laziest way to make this happen. And they gave it to us. And it pissed me off. And I'm trying so hard to be positive about things.
But yeah, everything about the 4.5 hours that this pay-per-view was just felt lazy. And it.
So so you think Lashley's dream match was Lesnar? I thought he already had it back at WrestleMania 23.
Oh, who do you
wrestling as a he faced Umaga as a proxy for Donald Trump.
Now I understand why he left and worked with what is American Top Team? What the hell's his name? Dan Lambert. Why he left and agreed to work with Dan Lambert for a while. I probably
like this is better. This is
I would
better.
rather work with Dan Lambert than Donald Trump, and that says a whole lot. So yeah, those were your 3 singles title matches, and then we got our Rumbles. Boy, did we get our Rumbles.
We got so many Forbidden Door entries after all the teasing. It came through. Got Mickie James. And
that was it. I will give them props. Mickie James got to use her own music. She got to come out with an Impact-looking banner that said Impact Women's Champion, and she got to wear the belt to the ring. I didn't think they were going to give her all of that, but I will give them credit for that. That was, that's the least they could do after they mailed her shit in a hefty bag. But, they didn't do her any favors in the booking of the match. So, but yeah, for all the rumors and the Forbidden Door talk, Mickie James was it. And that in and of itself was disappointing, but when you know who won them, it really doesn't matter.
Including Renee just kept on fanning the flames. Is like, I don't know what my husband is doing. Like on Saturday.
Yeah, we're both so busy. I don't know what his schedule looks like, but St. Louis is driving distance. So you teased us. You just made it that much worse. Moose's Twitter made it that much worse for you and I. Cody Rhodes and all the free agency talk. And then the day of the Rumble, posting the picture of a plane flying into St. Louis. that was an ultimate troll move, and I applaud him for that one.
I don't know if he called up AJ, but AJ was always like, I'll challenge Cody Rhodes to come into the Rumble or whatever, so.
We're going to have a match, and then we're going to debate flat earthism. So, yeah, let's quick hit on these Rumbles. All the women's surprises were spoiled except for, Alicia Fox, which isn't really a shocker. None of the surprises fared terribly well. Lita did have a good showing, but was ultimately eliminated so that we could get a stare down longer than the actual confrontation between Charlotte and Ronda Rousey, who won the match because she needed the rub. It came down to them as the last two. Charlotte charged in for a big boot and was immediately thrown over the top. So they didn't wrestle at all. It was not pretty. This match, and I can give a lot of leeway to the legends and the Kelly Kellys and Alicia Foxes that haven't wrestled in a while. When things look a little sloppy for them, I'm okay with it. It's all right. But every part of this match just looked haphazardly thrown together, and it really did. When it came down to Charlotte and Ronda, it broke my heart because the one eliminated to leave it to just them was Bianca, and I was team Bianca in this thing. I thought maybe there was a chance, and rest assured. So yeah, it was what it was. Ronda.
So what's the most positive thing you can say about the Women's Rumble?
Lita looked great. Okay,
good.
I can absolutely say Lita looked great. Rhea Ripley got to look good, which it's hit and miss with the way they book her. She got to have kind of a showcase, which was great. Other than that, I don't really know what else good to say. Mickie James I think she may have eliminated 2 people, but it was it. And I think it was just legends that she threw out.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it didn't do anybody any favors, which is heartbreaking. I thought, and I just like all the Forbidden Door talk, I probably set myself up, as much time as they've spent with Liv Morgan. I thought maybe she'd get a nod. With all of this weird Alexa Bliss in therapy stuff, I thought maybe the Goddess would come back and get the win here. But I just don't understand Ronda winning the Rumble. If you put Ronda and Charlotte on the marquee, the match sells itself. If you put Ronda and Becky on the marquee, the match sells itself. They don't need the Rumble rub. Unless you just have to do that so that you can justify the main event of day one. But I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Yeah. And
it didn't help cushion the blow of the men's Royal Rumble. I'll jump into the men's Rumble with positives. AJ Styles was entrant. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura started this match. AJ was in there damn near to the end, and I think he had 7 or 8 of the eliminations. AJ Styles looked like the superstar that he is, and it was. I appreciated the hell out of that. No surprises here. One. The internet had spoiled everything. Shane McMahon was going to be in it because it's WrestleMania season, so he's got to find a way to get himself in there. Bad Bunny was the biggest surprise on the men's Royal Rumble match. He put on a good show. I won't say a bad word about Bad Bunny. I do hate that he gets booked over some of the rising stars, but really booked over a lot of the roster. But he puts the effort in. He looks good when he's in the ring, which is more than you can say about most of these gimmicky celebrity entrants. For all of the work they did to make Johnny Knoxville look legit going into this thing, he came out in what looked like long johns.
But that's a direct reference to Andy Kaufman. Like that's a direct callback to the whole Jerry Lawler, Andy Kaufman thing, which was like huge. And, probably during when Johnny Knoxville was growing up, that was probably like a big deal. Kaufman.
Yeah. They didn't, I guess it didn't instantly jump out at me. I guess it might have hurt too that Wee Man and Preston Lacey came out with him. So it made it look a little more ridiculous. And then he wasn't in the match long at all, and Sami Zayn tossed him out. But I mean, they had put some effort into building him like he would, actually be a reasonably decent competitor in this thing, and it turned out to all be for nothing.
One criticism I was reading is that the Jackass theme immediately puts to shame like all the modern WWE themes, because they're just none of them are catchy. The Jackass thing, it just gets a big pop because it's like, there's a nostalgia thing too there as well, but like it kind of says everything. That's a good theme because it says everything you need to know about the character of Johnny Knoxville, like as well. Like if you've never seen Jackass, it fits if you like look at him and he'd come to the ring and kind of goofy, but like kind of crazy, like ready to do some crazy stuff. So
if you've never seen Jackass, you are definitely not listening to this podcast. Other things, Austin Theory got to look good. He didn't get the win that I secretly just hoped for. Randy Orton in front of his home crowd. He was the second shortest survival time of the whole match. I don't know if Orton's working hurt or what is going on. He wasn't on Raw, which is weird because he was supposed to do the scooter race against Chad Gable, and then he just wasn't there, which was weird.
I mean, it's not surprising that WWE didn't book a hometown person the best in their hometown. Like
Angelo Dawkins got a win last night on Raw in Cincinnati. I think they were just pandering to Bengals fans. I'm pretty sure going into the Super Bowl, but it does happen occasionally. Randy Orton just got the shit end of the stick. He came out too late in the match, and then when our glorious winner Brock Lesnar entered at number 30, he was quickly eliminated. I'll just leave it at that. Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble. He showed up on Raw last night to say that he's definitely going after Roman Reigns. So at least they didn't dick around with it. But that's not all. He confronted Bobby Lashley, ready for a match, which was weird on a Raw to see Lesnar dressed for an actual match. Said he wanted his rematch on Raw. MVP wouldn't let it happen. Brock Lesnar was then immediately inserted into the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match at WWE Blood Money Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Here we go.
So
back to Saudi Arabia.
So that was the 2022 Royal Rumble event. Tell me about the Battle of Los Angeles. Let's talk about something enjoyable.
So quickly, I'll just hit at least a couple very memorable things in AEW that I thought were really good last week. The ladder match with Cody and Sammy Guevara. Man, what those two put themselves through for just a regular episode of television is nuts. And the whiplash when Sammy did that senton onto Cody onto that ladder, and just the whiplash of his body just bending around. That's just it's too much. And I made sure to point out to you, because I knew you were going to watch it later. It's just like there was reports that everyone was okay, so I was just like, you can watch this with a little bit more of a clear mind.
The senton on the ladder that didn't give was bad. That cutter off the ladders, like I don't know how somebody didn't have a broken neck, or at the very least, Sammy separate a shoulder, because he came down sideways, and that did not look pleasant. That one point where he landed on the ropes with the arm, I thought he was going to turn around and have a Rey Fenix thing. That match was brutal, but excellent.
And then also, I really loved Bowens versus Mox. I thought that was excellent. Anthony Bowens really killing it. You can say what you want to say about Max Caster. He's definitely hit or miss, but Bowens, he just brings it every time, and I think it's a kind of a big star in the making.
Yeah, Bowens is an incredibly talented dude. I know that the gimmick needs Max Caster, but when they finally break that apart and Bowens gets a single run, I think he's gonna really do something special.
So let's jump to the Battle of Los Angeles. So this hasn't happened since 2019, so it's been quite a long time. I was there the last time. I believe that's when, man, I can't remember who won. Oh, Bandito won. Yeah. Because then he went to challenge for the championship, and then he won the championship, and then he's been champion for like 2.5 years now, because there hasn't been many wrestling matches. Even recently, he was supposed to defend. I can't remember if it was last month or the month of the show before that one, but he got COVID, so he had to drop out and wasn't able to defend his championship. We had a field of 16. It's been 24 in the last several years, because they end up with a a triple threat, but this year they only had just a singles match. We had Aramis versus Ray Horus in the first match, Kevin Blackwood versus Daniel Garcia, Jake Cartwheel versus Leo Rush, Lee Moriarty versus Alex Shelley, JD Drake versus Black Taurus, Jonathan Gresham versus Davey Richards, which actually was replaced with Wheeler Yuta versus Blake Christian, Jonah versus Buddy Matthews, and Bandito versus Speedball Mac Bailey. So what I actually did, the first night was pretty amazing. I had no idea who Speedball Mike Bailey was, and I guess he's been banned from the U.S. for several years for trying to come in here and work without the proper visa, and they got banned, I guess, is what the story that I've heard. Could be wrong, but that's just what I overheard while I was there. So what I actually did after the first night, I created a little poll, and if you've ever been to PWG, you had to get there early. It's kind of like first come, first serve, like for general admission as far as seating. So I was there for a couple hours ahead of time. So I was just like, I'm going to entertain myself. And I polled 19 people, some of which are into wrestling, but most are not, about, I made a little Google poll with the pictures of everybody. And I asked, okay, who do you think, just based on names and pictures of these people, is going to win this championship? And 19 people indulged me and filled it out. So out of all that, let's see. Let's actually pull it up here. I believe Buddy Matthews did end up with the most amount of votes. I think it was about 5. Okay. I'm not logged in. That's great. This is great radio. Black Taurus ended up with number 2. I do remember this. Okay, here we go. I'm got in here now. All right, so we had, so 5 for Buddy Matthews, 4 for Black Taurus, 3 for Aramis, and those were like the least non-wrestling fans. They all of the people I voted, they all went for the luchador. 3 for Wheeler Yuta, some of which people just said, it's just a handsome man. And, probably I don't disagree, really. 2 for Alex Shelley, 1 for Red Death, Daniel Garcia, and 1 for Leo Rush. The only wrestler in the field of 8 going into night 2 was Speedball Mike Bailey. So, of course, that means we ended up with Speedball Mike Bailey. Spoiler anyway. I feel like if you've been listening this far and you were concerned about spoilers for the Battle of Los Angeles, you should have probably stopped listening a while ago. But Speedball Mike Bailey and Daniel Garcia ended up in that final round, which only one person guessed that, a non-wrestling fan, who, when I told him he won, he celebrated with a bunch of Hulk Hogan gifts, and then said, and it was like, I didn't realize the only wrestler I really knew was a big racist. So I was just like, okay. But yeah, he had a great showing. I've seen him as 2.0 son, but he brought a lot of personality to his matches, and he won every single match by submission, which I thought was interesting. The other thing that's kind of going around, Leo Rush got injured. So in his match versus Buddy, his semifinal match with Buddy Matthews, Buddy started off with a promo, just glowing about previous years of PWG, and then instantly turned it into a heel promo. And there were some fans that threw drinks into the ring, and it's just not cool. There's speculation that so Buddy Matthews' his finisher right now is like a curb stomp situation, and he went for the stomp, and then he might have slipped or whatever, and just he might have came down too hard on Leo, and I guess he potentially separated a shoulder or something. Hopefully not as bad. Hopefully it'll be like Ray Phoenix, and not as bad as it initially seems. But yeah, so Leo Rush is out for a few more months. Unfortunately, it seems like every time I see Leo Rush in a wrestling match, he gets injured. And I think maybe I just had bad luck, or he's injury prone. I'm not entirely sure.
He's got a music contract now. He'll just retire again.
Yeah.
So whatever. He never does anything when he shows up anyway.
I mean, he was entertaining in the 2 matches I did see him in. But it's just not cool. Like in general, like Excalibur was like super pissed. People have said they've been going to PWG for years and they've never seen him like as pissed after that match where he like just braided, people for like throwing stuff in the ring, because it's just not what we do as good fans and stuff. And if you're, and it's alcohol, and I understand that, and some people go too far with that, but it's still like there's that line. You can't do that because it's endangering people. Like, everyone's real close to that ring. If you throw a beer can and it gets all the way to the other side, like you could hit somebody in the face that's just trying to watch wrestling. So it's a shame. But overall, despite that little hiccup, it was quite good. Wheeler Yuta and Blake Christian might have had my favorite match of the whole thing on their first round match. And considering that they were a replacement, was pretty good. Was pretty cool. Wheeler didn't have any merch. He just came out and just hung out during the breaks. Like he hung up his tights on the ropes and just like hung out and took pictures with people. He seems like a good dude. And as I said on this podcast several times, I think he's going to be like a big star like 2-3 years from now. And I'm excited just seeing how he's interacted with Trent and how Trent doesn't really accept him. I think we're going to eventually get a match between those two. Maybe a respect, to gain that respect from Trent and help him become a true member of Chaos or best friends and stuff like that. So I'm kind of looking forward to that in the future. That, or at least that's my fantasy booking of that angle. So yeah. Any other things you're looking forward to this week?
As bad as Royal Rumble was, Raw wasn't bad. Lots of good matches on this show. I don't understand why it is that we need qualifying tournaments for stuff before we finally get good matches. We got AJ Styles taking on Rey Mysterio on Raw. No funny business, no nothing. They just wrestled a match. It was awesome. Ray went for a Hurricane Rana that AJ instantly reversed into a Styles Clash. It was great. Like, why has this not been like a marquee match before? So AJ Styles is going to be in the Elimination Chamber match along with, Lashley and Lesnar. Austin Theory got a win over KO to qualify, so he will be in the Elimination Chamber as well. Matt Riddle beat Otis to qualify. Randy Orton, again, was nowhere in sight. So Riddle is going singles for the next pay-per-view. Who were the other two? Seth Rollins was automatically inserted into the Elimination Chamber with no qualifying necessary. He did just beat the Universal Champion, so I guess that's his qualification. I think that's 6. I think that's all of them. Outside of that, Rousey decided to turn up, cut some weird promo on how she wrestled Charlotte Flair to prove that she didn't think very highly of Becky. So I guess she does think highly of Charlotte. I don't know. It was random as hell and whatever.
So is she going face or heel here?
I don't. Nobody likes her. I don't know why she got a pop in St. Louis. Right before she left after Becky Mania, she was getting booed out of buildings. The UFC booed her out of the building after Misha Tate kicked her head off. And she did not endear wrestling fans to herself, constantly talking shit about them and the company and the other women in the locker room. And, why would you bring somebody like that back? I don't know. But when she left the ring with Becky standing in it, Lita confronted Becky and challenged her to a match at Elimination Chamber. So I can hope. I was actually really hopeful that Lita would be one of the women's championship matches at Mania. I was kind of hoping she'd win the Rumble and get a nice run here on her way to WrestleMania. But we didn't get that. We will probably get Becky and Lita at Elimination Chamber. Hopefully it goes well. Maybe it'll just end up with like a dusty finish, and then we'll get a fatal 4-way Becky, Charlotte, Lita, and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania somehow. I don't know how the hell they'll work it into that, but I got a feeling just based on roster depth that we are about to get a shitload of title unification, which, the matches will be good. Gable and Otis versus the Usos could probably be a banger. Chad Gable could wrestle a paper bag, and I think it would be entertaining. But you put him in there with the Usos, and God, they could put on a show. But it's the only logical way to get back to some semblance of decent booking at this point, which is sad that you have to take away half the belts to actually put some creative effort in. But that seems like the road we're on, is a whole bunch of title unification. So we'll see, but that's what the road to WrestleMania is looking like.
It's paved with gold.
It's paved with something.
Oh, man. Well, we got a Super Bowl coming up. That's nothing to do with wrestling. So, yeah. I don't know why I'm mentioning this. Like, it happens every year.
Is it bad that I lose interest as soon as Tom Brady's not involved? Like, I get you're in LA, and LA is hosting, and they're in the Super Bowl. And then, the super underdog Cincinnati Bengals, mid-market team making good. It'll be an entertaining Super Bowl. Curious to see.
I got a hug out of it. Like, it was happening during PWG, and someone's just real excited about them winning. Like, he was super drunk, and he came over and hugged me. Like he was standing right next to me, heard the news, and he was just like hugging people around him, and just like all of a sudden, this guy just just hugged me. That was just a strange thing. He was not one of the ones that threw stuff in the ring, so that's good. I think he passed out somewhere by the time that actually happened.
Some of us have been there. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see if anything happens. I don't know. It'll be fun, a fun atmosphere. If anything, it's going to be kind of a preview of what WrestleMania 2023 will be like here in Los Angeles at the SoFi Stadium. WWE would have to get exceptionally bad for me to not go to that at all, especially with it being in my backyard. Yeah. But we'll say never say never, I guess.
The sad thing is that the takeover would probably be missable unless something drastic changes in a year. We don't even get takeovers anymore. It's awfully sad. I think though I think they do have some kind of timeline. I think NXT will look quite a bit different if by this time next year they haven't gotten to the goal that they've been looking to do. At the very least, I don't know when their USA television deal is with NXT is up. But I don't know. I'm wondering if that changes. I think NXT would definitely change if they lost that USA deal, or if it became like a Peacock only situation. Yeah. Which on one level, I kind of almost prefer that because, like, I don't know. I guess it's fine on Hulu. I don't know. Whatever. But I think it'll look different around this time next year if their metrics haven't gone anywhere. It speaks highly to how they feel about the talent down there that not a damn one of them was in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. I kind of feel like they just definitely want to keep this as like, this is only development. And it's probably closer to what the original NXT was a long time ago. Not like Nexus, but like the original NXT. So it makes sense on one level, but it's kind of weird just put the genie back in the bottle after like it was just so big and so kind of popular, the WWE version of the Indies.
After it was stealing weekends from the Big Four.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I don't get it. I mean, and like clearly they know they've got something down there in Braun Breaker. Like he is a star. Like what, 2 years ago, Damian Priest didn't get called up. He showed up in the Rumble, got a couple of eliminations, and then he was done. Like it was a nice way to gauge whether the audience, the general broad, 64,000 people, I think they said were at Royal Rumble. Do those 64,000 people know who the hell this guy is? Or is it just the 64 to 84 metric that they keep winning with NXT? People that fell asleep during NCIS and left USA running. So it's I don't know. I thought it was really weird that they didn't have any of them at least test the waters to see if the audience reacted. For all the dark matches that these guys are working, for main event and whatnot, it was a little weird to not at least get Braun Breaker or Ciampa, or the most recent rumor was that somebody backstage is real high on LA Knight. I thought that was a little strange.
Yeah. I think the rumor I saw, they expect him like the night after WrestleMania, trying to make the Raw after WrestleMania kind of a bigger deal again, which, makes sense, but that's still like 3-4 months away at this point. 3 months. We're in February.
66 days, I guess it is.
Yeah. So, we'll see. It'll be interesting. At the very least, next year we'll have Moose probably here in LA somewhere, so that'll be fun. That'll be worth WrestleMania being here.
We'll just find
he'll be somewhere.
We'll find an Impact show to go to in LA. That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Go see Moose.
Yeah.
I could probably drive you an Impact taping.
Yeah,
it's only 5 or 6 hours, and then I'd get to be in a room with Moose, and that would be awesome.
Oh man. All right. Well, take it away. What should they do?
Subscribe, ring the bell, keep up hope. I know it's dismal coming out of this Royal Rumble, but you're here because you love it. Try to remember that. And even when it gets bad, something happens like Big E winning a title or the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then you remember why you keep watching. So have faith. I mean, it's hard. I know. It's hard to stay positive, but subscribe, share, keep the faith, and we will see you next time.
And there's no harm in just taking a break from watching it. You could just listen to us, and we can just fill you in on what you're missing.
That'll work. I'll torture myself so you don't have to.
All right. Later. Oops.